Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally sitting in my new makeup room. I am so excited to be sitting here. I never in a million years thought that I would have a space like this. It's like a dream. Some of you know that in December I lost my Instagram account. For somebody like me, it was extremely heartbreaking because that was not only just my Instagram full of memories since my sophomore year in high school, but it was also my business. I am a hairstylist. I am a makeup artist, and there was no way for my clients to contact me if needed. So yeah, I tried contacting Instagram. Nobody was really helping me, and I even hired like somebody to try to get it back, and it didn't go well. So I learned my lesson from that. But anyways, I ended up restarting my account, and it is now Rachel C. Beauty, which is funny because I just got engaged and I'm going to be Rachel O. Beauty in 2 years from now. But for now, Rachel C. Beauty is gonna work. And I already have 1,200 plus followers, and I'm so close to where I was before. So I really appreciate all of the support, and I'm so excited to get back into the swing of things. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you're interested in seeing how I do my updated everyday makeup routine, then please keep watching. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I take this NYX primer, and I'm just going to spray it all over my face. And then after that dries, I'll just go in with the Tarte Poreless Mattifying Primer. And I really only put this in the T-zone area. Anywhere you basically get shiny, that's really where you want to put this. I do pretty much only have dry skin. I rarely get oily, but if I do, it's typically in the nose area, so that's why I will apply this in that area. Okay, so now that we have our primer, I'm going to go in with some foundation. Now, because I am spray tanned right now, I typically would only go in with the Huda Beauty. But because I'm a little bit darker, I'm gonna mix a little bit of Born This Way with Huda Beauty, and hopefully it looks good. We'll find out. So to apply this, I always use this Jumbo Real Techniques sponge. I love these things. I've probably gone through like 10 in my lifetime. I originally used to use the smaller ones, but now that they've come out with the bigger ones, they're awesome because they get the job done way faster. I personally do not like a wet sponge. I prefer a dry sponge. So when I first get it, I will wet it and squeeze out all of the water, and overnight it dries, and I like the drier sponge even though you're supposed to use it wet. Most people do. So I'm just gonna do about probably 2 small pumps of the toothpaste and then 1 small pump of the Huda Beauty. I'm just going to apply that in here. Now, because this is an everyday makeup look, I will apply this first, but if I'm going out or if I have like a special event, I will do the eyeshadow first. That way if there's any fallout, it's really easy to clean it up and then put your foundation on. But because I'm doing very minimal, this is totally okay. And you want to make sure that you're patting it, not swiping it, because if you're swiping it, it's going to soak up in the sponge. Now, I typically like a full coverage foundation. Some people do not. I'm a hair and makeup artist, so I feel like I can get away with wearing lashes and a lot of makeup on a daily basis, but feel free to use whatever kind of foundation that you like. I feel like the camera is picking this up extremely yellow, but bronzer is going to fix that. A lot of people get frustrated matching their foundation. As long as the foundation's a tad lighter than you would like, you can kind of go in with bronzer, and it makes it a lot easier to kind of correct. But if you're not a person that likes bronzer, you're definitely going to want to make sure you find your right shade. For all you girls out there that have a large forehead, I definitely have a couple tricks when it comes to contouring that really helps. Also, a big thing that helped me was how I parted my hair. For the longest time, I was parting my hair like way over to the side, and it was exposing a lot of my forehead on one side. but as soon as you fix your part and you add more hair to each side of the face, it almost completely changes your face shape. So if a lot of you are insecure about a large forehead, that's kind of what I did to kind of correct that. For concealer, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape. This is my absolute favorite. I've been using this for probably 2 years now, and I'm the shade Fair Neutral. This probably is a tad too light for me, but since the foundation ended up being a lot lighter, then it's gonna be okay. A lot of people think this is a lot of concealer. If you have more mature skin, I definitely recommend using a lot less because this will crease a tiny bit. And I just like to apply this on my nose, chin, and I will dab like a couple strokes on my forehead area, but you don't want this area to get super white. I feel like when I first started doing makeup, I had like this white glow up on my forehead and it was not cute. So to set my face, I'm going to use the Revolution Beauty, and this is in the color Lace. It has a light yellow tint to it, but it's not completely solid. It's a little bit translucent. So I just apply like a generous amount right under my eye and on my eyelids. And then I apply some just kind of around my nose, the chin and forehead. So I recently got a new bronzer by Morphe. Morphe's selection at Ulta is literally insane. I think I spend a good 20 minutes just in that area every time I go to Ulta. They're extremely affordable and they have really good high quality products, so I highly recommend you guys checking them out if you've never heard of them before. They used to be an online store only, but they are now in stores, which is awesome. So I'm going to be using this shade on the right hand side, which probably looks really dark, but I don't apply a heavy amount of it. I feel like it's all in the way that you blend it. And remember, our face is too light right now, so we have to kind of make up for that. So I like to apply it on the forehead. You want to make sure you blend this out really well, otherwise you're going to have like a line. So if I'm going out, I typically would use like a contour brush, or I would use a cream contour, but because this is an everyday makeup look, I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm just going to follow that line where your cheekbone is. You actually can feel it if you press on your cheek. Once you feel that bone, you really don't want to apply anywhere past that. You just want to apply above it. And I feel like this part's really all about the blending. If you can figure out how to blend. You don't want to press too hard, but you want to give it just the right amount of pressure. Otherwise, you're just going to glob it on. It's going to have like cakey spots everywhere. All in practice. See, like that literally changed my face completely. A little bit down the neck. And then I personally like my collarbones to be bronzed a little bit as well. If you're wearing a shirt where you can see it, I recommend trying it. It's kind of feels weird to put bronzer on your collarbones and a little bit on your shoulders, but I feel like it like completes everything. So for brows, I actually use the brown shade in the Kylie palette. This is the bronzed palette, or sometimes I'll use the dark brown shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette, but this is just what I have on hand right now. And I just used a little angled brush like this, and I kind of just go in and trace my brows. My brow routine hasn't really changed much. So I went ahead and I applied my brow gel. This one is by NYX or NYX. I still to this day I do not know how to pronounce it correctly. And this is in the shade, I believe it's brunette. Oh, espresso. So now we're gonna go ahead and start on the eyeshadow. I typically will only use like 1 to 2 shades during the day just because I don't feel like putting on more than that. So the first color that I like to use is this top shade right here. I think this one's called Topaz. And I'm using a fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M504. And I'll just apply this in the crease. And I would consider this like a transition shade. You want to pick something that's kind of similar to a skin color. So then to warm it up, I just go in with this color right here, and this one is Tiger Eye, and I just go right over the outer corner a little bit. And then to line the bottom, I typically go in with this flat definer. It's called the E15, and this is by Sigma. And I'll just mix those two colors together, and I will just line the bottom. So I already applied some mascara. I normally wear lashes on a daily basis. You don't have to, it's just because I'm a cosmetologist, so I wear more makeup than most people. I work 4 out of 7 days a week, and I probably wear lashes 4 to 5 times a week just because I enjoy it. Some people get false lashes done professionally. I personally like to glue mine on every day. I didn't have the best experience when I got them done. I am willing to try it again, but for now, I like to glue mine on. I did use the Worth the Hype, and this is by NYX. So I think I'm probably going to do something that's not as dramatic. So I went ahead and I cut one of the sides off a little bit because they were too long for me. You definitely want to take them off out of the package and measure them to your eye. If you don't cut on the outer corner, it's going to start flipping and hanging off. So you just want to make sure that it fits your eye. Then you want to apply the glue and let it dry for about 30 seconds. I always recommend getting a clear glue. If you buy a black glue and you don't have enough practice or experience, you definitely could mess up your entire makeup and smear the black like all over your eyeshadow. You don't want that. And I forgot to mention which kind these are. These are the Tarte Lashes in Goddess. I've been really loving the Milani line lately, especially their blushes, and this one is in Romantic Rose. So for highlight, I've been using the Babe in Paradise palette by Morphe, which is awesome. As you can tell, I use a lot of this shade and that shade, the two. And this brush is awesome. This is also by Morphe. I cannot read what that says. It's R33, I think, because I obviously use it so much that there's not even any words on it anymore. So I just apply this right on top of the cheekbone. And then whatever's left over, I typically just put on my nose. I'll use a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Tiny bit on the chin, that's it. For lips, I've been really loving the Kylie Cosmetic lip kits in the shade Candy K. And then if I remember this step, I will do it. Today I'm remembering. But I'll just take a small little tapered brush and go back into that highlight that we used on the cheek, and I will apply it in the inner corner, and this kind of just helps brighten up the eye a little bit. This is literally my favorite product in the entire world. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, and what's cool about this is it's not a pump, so you're not going to get like spurts of water all over your face. It's like an aerosol can of hairspray, but it's a setting spray. And I kind of explain this to people as hairspray for the face, and I apply a pretty generous amount. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.